All right, let's get to the last one.
Yep, movie we both watched. Talented Mr.
The
Ripley.
Talented Mr. Ripley,
Right.
which is a popular one right now.
Yes,
It's on Criterion Channel. There's
like
a new
it's
show.
kind of having a renaissance.
The Tom Ripley
in a
character.
sense, yeah. And a lot of people really like it, and I think maybe I don't want to speak for both of us, but I think we both found it a very effective and well-made film.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if we connect.
Like is a strong term.
Like it's so good at eliciting like emotions of terror.
It's so uncomfortable.
It gives you so much anxiety,
which is so funny. Because for people who don't know, like you know what it is, but you haven't. You would think. I think it's going to be like a Catch Me If You Can sort of a fun watch, and it is like there's I mean, you know, I guess we cuss on this all the time, but there's literally parts where I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Right. It is.
So much happens too.
It's deeply unnerving.
And so much happens.
Yes.
It's 2 hours 13 minutes. It's a long movie.
It is.
But even talking, because I had to watch it in 2 parts. I started last night. It's so long.
I watched it in 2 parts.
And I was talking to my wife about it. We were watching the second half. I was like, oh yeah, that happened earlier too. Like it's so much happens.
Yes. But I think the best thing to be said about it is so effective in eliciting like deeply unsettling emotions. And in like not the traditional sense, like nothing like the scenes that are the most distressing and like the most like
are not violent.
No, like they're the scenes. They're literally the scenes where it's just Matt Damon and Jude Law.
It's the relationship they have.
It's so you know like something is going to happen, and then it's almost relief when Jude Law gets killed because I'm like, God, we don't have to deal with that like awkward tension anymore.
But then it gets right back.
It does. But I did honestly feel like a sigh of relief when that happened. So I was like, it's leading up to it.
Yeah, brutal.
And talk about a show-stealing performance. Jude Law, I think
Jude Law is
really good.
Yeah,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow's great.
Gwyneth Paltrow, good too.
But honestly, this is Matt Damon. For those of you who just know Matt Damon as like Jason Bourne or The Martian. Or what's the one where where he's like going undercover for like McDonald's? He like works for Korn. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? The Informant.
Oh,
right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. That is The Informant.
This is totally different.
Yeah, it's a good performance.
It's nuts. It's really out of his wheelhouse.
He's deeply unsettling.
And that's what's great about it too is you start this movie and you're following his character Tom Ripley, and the whole setup is. Dickie Greenleaf, Jude Law, is in Italy. He went to where did they go? Stanford,
Princeton, I believe.
Yes, Princeton. You're right because it's New York. Princeton, and Dickie Greenleaf's dad gives Tom Ripley the opportunity to go to Italy to find his son.
James Rebhorn, fantastic character actor.
Yes,
and many great things.
He's like, I'll give you $1,000, and this is 1950, so $1,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah,
to go to Italy, find my son, and try and convince him to come home. And so that's the setup. And you're rooting for Ripley. You're like, okay, this is going to be Tom Ripley. He's the good guy. He's the good guy.
Yeah.
And then you watch.
Because you want him, you're like, oh, this like extravagant playboy son. You're like, fuck this guy.
Exactly. Like, and the more you watch, you're like, okay, he's getting in. He's telling me I knew you at Princeton. Like, let's go get lunch. Mm-hmm. And then when they're hanging out together, this is the first scene where I was just like blown away. He starts to impersonate his dad. And that was, he's like, everybody has one talent store. What's yours? And he's like, forging checks, signature. And the more you watch, he's just like enamored with every human and is like mimicking.
He has no personality of himself. So he just like takes on the personality and the mannerisms and like persona of like the people he's around.
Which I never knew. I mean, that's the other thing. The title of The Talented Mr. Ripley, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be just like a showman, a jack of all trades. But it's like an ironic title.
Yeah,
like, he does nothing.
Yeah. But he is talented in the sense of like he's able to infiltrate all these groups, kind of just being like a nothing. And there's definitely something to be said there too about like that all these people are attracted to a guy that's essentially just like a hollow void or like an echo chamber for like their own personality.
This isn't. I'm not gonna. We're gonna go through the movie, but the ending. That's what he says to that guy Peter. He goes. I wanted to be. He's like, I thought it would be better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, I think it says something about the people that are like associating with him too. Is that like they're nobodies also? Like if they're gonna like hang around a guy like this, I don't know.
They're just like vain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the star-studded cast too.
Yeah, great cast. It's directed by this guy Anthony Minghella.
I was going to ask you about him. You know more about him than I do.
I don't really know much about him. He directed The English Patient, was his previous film, which won Best Picture. ton of Oscars, and so this was actually his follow-up movie to The English Patient, which is kind of interesting to consider.
I can't imagine it did well. Can you?
No, it's kind of a big movie, I think.
It is, but I feel like if I was like, oh, like Matt Damon, unless I don't know what the trailers were like back then,
right?
But you walk in, it's not at all what you expect it to be.
I mean, Matt Damon was kind of big at the time. I think
something else I want to say. It's a very musical movie.
Yes,
it's so musical. There's like full scenes of jazz, full scenes of opera, which I love.
It was a big hit.
That's okay, good.
It made a lot of money. Yeah,
interesting.
It's a big hit.
Because like I said, we both finished it, and it's like it left me feeling like, man.
I know. I can't imagine like flooding into the theater to see like you're like, oh, this guy made like the Best Picture winner a few years ago, and then like you're just stricken with dread immediately. Like you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
He also made that movie Cold Mountain, also starring Jude Law. A few years later, I know that was kind of a big Oscar-y movie. I don't know what the cultural footprint of that is these days, but
wait, I'm sorry, I trailed off earlier. I have to get back to this. The scene where he tells him, mimicry forging.
It's a great
He's like, all right, we'll do somebody. Like, step into somebody's character. And then he starts acting as his dad. Like, saying everything his dad would say. And it's blowing his mind.
Kind of an unbelievable scene, though.
It's blowing his mind. And you're like, oh, like, okay, this is where it ends. Like, he's just going to be like, oh, I know your dad. And he's like, that's why we're friends. And then he keeps going.
Then he
like,
just says
it's the first break of, like, his mental. He keeps doing it. And he even repeats, like, he's like, go to Italy, find my son. I'll give you $1,000, bring him back home. So he just, like, admits everything.
Yeah.
And then it just
I was shocked by that.
That's what I mean. I was just like, what? It was like so uncomfortable.
But it's wild. I don't know. The thing, like Jude Law is kind of toying with him too, and then they end up like they say they're going to pull
very
one over on
homoerotic.
his dad. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, not even
homoerotic. It just comes up straight up gay. Towards the
Happy
end.
Pride Month, yeah.
But I feel like it's also kind of the thing of like Matt Damon is just attracted to like anybody who gives him the time of day or like respects him as like.
But nobody as much as Dickie.
No, he's obsessed with him.
But even everybody. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow pulls him aside at one point. He's like, the thing about Dickie is he treats you like a toy. Like when he shines his light on you, it's the best feeling in the world. And then he tosses you aside and finds somebody else.
Right.
And he says that she says that to him while they're on a boat, and he's out playing with Philip Seymour Hoffman in the water. Yeah. And it's like the perfect example of he's just like moves along to the next thing.
Right. Right. But interesting film. I think
crazy. Should we go into the plot, or do you think it's just we leave it? I
mean,
there's so much to happen.
I mean, the plot is really just like he gets obsessed with this guy and then kills him out of like.
Well, think about Jude Law has that other woman who throws herself in the water. Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. It's like you think you're like, I totally forgot that happened, and that's a crazy scene too. Where he's like, "Will someone get an ambulance?"
But it all kind of comes back together because then at the end. It's kind of revealed that Jude Law was also known to have issues.
Was violent himself.
Yeah, we didn't know about really.
Right.
So he kind of gets away with it at the end, or not kind of. He just does. Like,
but the ending is very ominous because he's killing the last person who knows him as Tom Ripley.
Yes. His boyfriend at the time, or
didn't deserve it, man. Didn't need it.
No, that's a dark scene too, where it cuts to black and you can hear the guy like he's like, "You're crushing me." Yeah, he's like, And then just final shot of Matt Damon kind of
sitting in a dark room.
What he's done, yeah.
Well, that's a
good point. I didn't think about that he's killing the last person that knew he was Tom Ripley. Because Kate Blanchett is still on the boat. So I was just thinking, I was like, oh, he's just killing her to like make that situation easier because she knows him as Dickie. But then you're right, he's killing the last person that knows he's Tom. Because then he has the breakdown.
Gwyneth Paltrow went back to the States.
Because he has the breakdown and admits to him, like he wants to be like a fake somebody.
Right.
So like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he just mimics this. The musical scenes though are great.
It's great.
That's what's crazy about this movie. There are so many scenes
there's some very whimsical scenes.
That's what I mean. It's like it cuts from like the most uncomfortable scene you have, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's beautiful Italy. They're like in a great town. They're all having fun, and then it's like back to just funny. Like, oh yeah, by the way, like this character.
Like also, don't forget, like this guy like might kill this guy at any given moment.
This character we're following is obsessive.
Like a psychopath. Yeah.
Yes. It's nuts, and that's what I mean. It's really outside of Matt Damon's wheelhouse. He sings that song, "My Funny Valentine," and it's great.
Yeah,
it's so well made, and it's made like that's funny that it makes sense that it was a big blockbuster because it's really well made.
I mean, Jude Law is nominated for an Oscar, deservedly.
Yes, for sure. Fantastic. He's great.
Matt Damon did not.
Philip Baker Hall makes a cameo.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's in the last scene, almost last scene,
and it's great too because it goes back to like 1950s. There's a lot of the idea of like these Americans fleeing to Italy to be openly gay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a big part of
that's
it.
a big like.
And then the other
subtext
part
it,
of like
too.
Gwyneth Paltrow, the only character who figures it all out, the men don't listen to her.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
100%.
yeah,
They're
like
like
Dickie
she
would
literally
just tell you
she's
whatever you want
literally
to
telling
hear.
them at the end like you killed Dickie, and like Dickie's dad is literally just like forcing her onto the boat. Like doesn't want to listen to her.
Yeah,
and
great
they literally give him all Dickie's money.
They do.
Yeah,
I know.
which is crazy. Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
I know. So he kind of gets away with everything at the end.
He really does. Shows, I mean, I think there's, it says a lot, and this was a book too, but it says a lot about like I said, like those topics, the fleeing open homosexuality, and then not just women, as well as the idea of like, I don't know if I know rich kids who like, yeah, their parents would totally be like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, the dad, what was his name again? The actor,
James Rebhorn. Rebhorn, yes.
Says that thing where he's like, they always say you can't choose your parents. He's like, you can't choose your kids.
Yeah,
and you can tell he's just fed up with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And part of that is he's using the money. Tom Ripley's taking his money and doing all sorts of shit with it.
Right.
So, it's great.
I was going to say, too, it should be mentioned, well, there's a lot of Ripley films. One we love, The American Friend.
That's a Ripley film?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dennis Hopper's Tom Ripley.
That's right. That's one of the follow-ups.
It's based on a different,
because that's what's crazy, too. I said the ending's so ominous, and so I had to look it up. That's the first novel.
Yeah.
And there's 4 subsequent novels.
The American Friend's based on like a following novel. But the original film based on the book Purple Noon. And I read, so I was looking on IMDb, and it's interesting because you can read reviews. It's such an old site. There are reviews from like 1999 when the movie came out. And a lot of people were saying that they much preferred Alain Delon as Ripley, which I could see. He's a much more... he's amazing.
Yeah.
But then I think a lot of people are saying he's so much more charismatic. But I feel like it should be the way it is in Talented Mr. Ripley, where Dickie is the charismatic one, and like Tom Ripley is more of like just kind of a...
We should watch Purple Noon.
We should.
But I want to know what I'm saying. Do you think it's his like homoerotic too?
I would imagine not.
Like the scene where he's playing chess in the bathtub, and he's like, "Mind if I get in?" And
it's insane. I would imagine. There's no way. I mean, it came out in 1960, so
right. Good point. I wonder if the book is. I mean, the book's got to be, right?
Yeah, the book might be.
Yeah,
it's written by a woman too.
Patricia
it might be a little different. But I don't know. I thought that was an interesting take in that people preferred him for being more charismatic. Where I feel like that character makes more sense.
Not being charismatic, because he's mimicking everything,
right?
And that's the great scene too. Is when Jude Law like pulls him aside. He's like, "You didn't actually go to Princeton with me. Like, I don't remember you at all."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you even like jazz? Like, because that's the whole thing. Is he gets in like being like saying, "Oh, I love Chet Baker. He loves all the same jazz artists." And that's such a creepy scene too, because Matt Damon's like, "No, but I learned to like."
Yeah.
It's like a clinger.
Which is also a scene that makes you realize you're like, because for the first half of the movie, you kind of feel like you're in good hands with him. You're like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. And then it comes to a point where you realize you're like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's just like he's like obsessed with this guy. He's like lost his mind. Yeah.
And he keeps lying to everyone around him.
Because at the scene you're talking about, which I think that might be my favorite scene in the movie, when he talks like his dad. You're like, oh, he's
when I watched it, I hated it because it made me feel so uncomfortable.
I didn't think of that as a mental slip. I thought of that as like, this guy's confident and in control of this situation. And then you quickly see that facade like leaving.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's his first like break of it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, there's so many scenes too we haven't even talked about that are just like, make your skin crawl. When he's dancing in the mirror. Yeah. And Jude Law
he's wearing makeup and like dressed like Jude Law.
Wearing all his clothes. Yeah.
Freaky scene. Freaky movie. Make your skin crawl.
Yeah, I know. And it's a movie that, like I said, I mean, what's so amazing about it is you would never expect that.
No.
I was like, I was like, oh, watch this, Julia. Let's be a fun one. And Julia was like, Julia liked it.
Yeah,
right, maybe more. But
it's deeply disturbing.
So it gives you anxiety.
It could they should like, because it's not marketed like that either. You look at it, you're like, oh, this will be like maybe like a little thriller, like kind of adventure movie. It's like they could market that better than like some horror movies, like being like, this will legitimately make you like squirm in your seat. Like,
for sure.
It's crazy though. All right.